Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. I hope all of you are doing very well. This is going to be a general tarot kind of reading for Movie Star Monday series, and this is an impromptu. I mean, I wasn't quite sure, um, who to pick on or such, but which celebrity or whatever. Then I was just thinking about the Walt Disney Company, right? All the brouhaha that they've had in terms of all the stuff that's been going on with Disney. And there's a whole bunch of people are upset, a whole bunch of the employees are upset, and it's really impacted their company. And so I figured, okay, maybe I should do a reading on that and see what we may get, right? So here we go. Let's take a look and see what's happening, right? So a little bit of background. So the Walt Disney Company was registered on March 21st, 1990, and that is Aries. Walter Elias Disney, he was born on December 5th, 1901. He's a Sagittarian, and he passed on December 15th, 1966, again in Sagittarius season. The current CEO of Walt Disney Company is Robert Allen Chapek, and he was born on 21st August 1960, at least based on what I was able to kind of figure out. So if you look at when the Walt Disney Company was registered, it shows as March 21st, which is Aries. Walter Elias Disney is a Sagittarian, and Robert Allen Chapek, the current CEO of Walt Disney, is in Aries, all fire signs. Okay, and I thought, well, wow, that's a little bit interesting. I wonder what's going on over there. So, I do believe. So, with regards to the dynamics of what's going on with the company, under the guidance or the leadership of Robert Allen Chapek, I do believe the ninth house and the sixth house are active. So ninth house does talk about intellect, sixth house work, health, discipline, and habits. And then we go, well, what does that mean? Well, ninth house also has to do with luck and religion. Sixth house has to do with enemies and diseases as well. So when you look at it from that perspective, you will kind of understand that there is a religious connotation to this whole drama, right? I mean, there is a faction of society that feels that it is not okay to, what's the word? That LGBTQ is not accepted in the eyes of God or whatever. So that's a religious aspect of it. And then there is a certain faction which says, you know what, we're all human beings at the end of the day, so it really doesn't matter. Then let's talk about the enemies aspect of the sixth house as well. So work, health, discipline, and habits, and also it could be enemies and diseases, right? So clearly, with this new stance that Disney has taken, it has caused a great rift or a divide, if you will, between the two factions, the ones who are accepting of the changes and the ones who think it isn't unfair. And that has obviously caused a lot of brouhaha and drama, right, for Disney, as we all know. So, you know what? My hair is growing, y'all, and I'm kind of so annoyed. This happens to me every time. When it's growing out of a style, it kind of goes crazy, and I don't know what to do with it. But anyway, see, this thing keeps sticking out here. It looks funny as heck, but hey. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Now, when you take a look at Disney itself, just go off of when, that company was registered, the 7th house and 4th house are active. So 7th house for Disney is registered on March 21st, so it's an Aries company. You have Libra, and 7th house talks about friends, marriage, partners, contracts, relationships, and of course, family values, that is husband, wife, friends, etc., that sort of a thing. And 4th house talks about emotions and, that sort of a stuff. 4th house also talks about property and mother and feeling like you're at home and the emotions and that sort of a thing. So Walt Disney being the Walt Disney Company being Aries, you have the fourth house, which is Cancer, which is a water sign, and as we know, Aries is a fire sign, and the Cancer sign is of course the Cancer sign is what shall I say, is ruled by the moon, if you will. So therefore you will feel that it's a place of feeling like you're at home. Emotionally people feel like, oh my God, this is great, I love it, all that sort of a stuff, right? So it's clearly evident that it does make one feel emotionally happy, if you will, emotionally safe and secure, and also makes you feel like you're at home. Isn't that the theme for Disney? And then let's look at the seventh house. The seventh house is Libra. So if Aries is Disney's sign, seventh house Libra talks about, and Libra is ruled by Venus, a place of beauty, a place of fun, a place of, well, I can't say illusion, but really Disney also has, like when you go there, it's almost like you're in another world. It's an ideal world, right? So you have that going on. And also Libra talks about wanting to be balanced, wanting to do justice, wanting to not really take a harsh stance on anything. Libra is all about wanting to find the happy medium, to mediate, to kind of try to appease everybody and everything. And then you jump back to Walter Elias Disney's, his birth sign. He's a Sagittarius, and for him the third house and fourth house are active. For him the third house is Aquarius and the fourth house is Pisces. Now keep in mind, when we talk about third house and fourth house is about adventures, it's communication, it's the environment, and the fourth house again talks about emotions and that sort of a thing, property, home, the feeling like like you're secure, that sort of a thing. Now keep in mind, him being a Sagittarius, and his third house is Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus, so it does talk about a little bit of a strife, okay? And on top of that you have Pisces, and Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter as well as Neptune. So there will be, when you look at Aquarius, yes, he has created an environment that's illusions and dreams, and that's where you go. It's to Disney, right? And you have Uranus there, which talks about changes. So there's always changing themes in Disney. Whereas when you look at Pisces, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about expanses. Jupiter is big, going bigger, and Neptune also talks about illusions and dreams, and it's like things are constantly changing there. The themes are changing, things are changing, that sort of stuff. Then when you take a look at Robert Allen Chapek, he's a current CEO. He's like, whoa, wait on a second, 6,000, 9,000. 9,000 is Aries, okay? And his 6,000 is Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? So he comes in there and he goes, oh, whoa, you know what? I'm going to start making some changes over here. And these changes could definitely, whether he did it under due pressure or whether he did it of his, I don't think he could do it of his own free will, because you're all answerable to the board of directors and yada yada and all that stuff. So for y'all, for those of y'all who are not too familiar with astrology and numerology, what I just explained thus far could have been a little confusing, and I do apologize. It's just that I do that. So we'll see how everything plays out in terms of the tarot. So I'm now just going, this is just the background, right? Looking at astrology and numerology for the Walt Disney Company, for Walter Elias Disney, as well as for Robert Allen Chapek. So now, just with the cards, let's see what is to be in the near future for the Walt Disney Company, okay? I just want to know what's to be expected in the near future for the Walt Disney Company. Whoa, we'll take this. We have Cancer and Capricorn pop out. Okay, Cancer and Capricorn pop out. So let's take a look. For the Walt Disney Company, Cancer is the fourth house, and Capricorn is going to be, hang on one second, 10th house. And 10th house does talk about, it talks about reputation, morals, profession, that sort of a thing, right? 10th house is Capricorn, and that is ruled by Saturn. So there's going to be a little bit of a restriction there. However, with the 4th house Cancer showing up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4th house, I do believe the property, the prosperity, the value, the feeling like you're at home, feeling emotional, that sort of a thing, and also the roots of what the company is, the foundation of the company, right? What it was based on is definitely affected a little because of all this brouhaha. Now, does that mean that what the Disney company is going to fold and go out of existence? No, but it has definitely kind of shook them up a little bit. And kind of made them the foundation and the roots, the foundation that the company was built on and what it really meant has been shook a little bit. And with the 10th house, right, like I said, the 10th house again talks about reputation and the goals and the morals of the company absolutely have been shook a little bit, okay? So let's see what we have in store for the near future of Walt Disney. We have these two. We have the 5 of Cups, okay, and then we have 5, okay. As we know, the 5 is Hierophant, okay. We'll look at this. Just a very quick impromptu. And then we have the 4 of Swords, the Lover's card, the King of Coins, the Dreamer. Okay, so let's take this further. So with the 5 of Cups, clearly Disney has been affected, and there is a little bit of feeling like, oh my God, we might have made a mistake, and feeling a little bit of definitely that their employees have been, some of their employees feel like that they've been undercut or abandoned, or their values and their have not been appreciated or taken into consideration. So at the moment, Disney is in a situation where it really cannot, it's like danged if you do and danged if you don't, which is difficult, right? I mean, who are you going to appease? But at the end of the day, in my humble opinion, any company that is in a situation like this, I feel the best thing you could do is stick to your guns. What are your ethics? What are your principles? What do you stand for? As opposed to trying to appease everybody, correct? Now, is that wrong? No, I'm just saying, don't come at me. These are just my opinions and my observations. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own due diligence, do your own research, and form your own conclusions. And then we have 5, which is, as we know, it is the Hierophant, and Hierophant is Taurus. It talks about having mercy and compassion. It talks about conforming, being able to have conform the mind, body, and spirit. Having all that tied up together, having a good balance. Now, the Hierophant also. Talks about orders and rules and regulations. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stick to your guns, stick to what the principles and the foundations of Disney was and what it was supposed to be and what it stood for and what it was built on? Or are you going to try to conform to the general public or to a certain faction of society? So that's the issue. I think that's where they lost it, rather than just if the foundation or the whatever the core values of the company is to include everybody and etc., that's a different thing. But I don't think that was the case. Again, y'all, this is just my opinion, so don't come at me, okay? I'm just saying. I mean, so then why did they change? Why didn't they just stick to what their the pillars of their of the foundation of the company was, is? Then you have the 4 of Swords. I do believe with the 4 of Swords, Disney is at the moment kind of just not becoming overly agitated or overly reactive. They've kind of made a statement, took a stance, and they've kind of backed off. And with the 4 of Swords, they are like waiting to see how that is going to affect their company in the long run. Now, is it really going to upset their sales and their numbers and their finances in terms of, the happy place, Disney, Walt Disney, or Disney Park, or Disneyland, or whatever, Disney World or Disneyland? They are just waiting to see. Having said that, let me tell you, they have so many different, like the movies and etc etc, they're not going to go under. But I do believe for a brief period of time, Disney World and Disneyland are definitely going to be affected, and I do believe that their sales is definitely going to drop down. And then after that, you have the four of I'm sorry, the Lovers card. Now, the Lovers card is a Gemini card, and as we know, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. This talks about duality. This also, with Mercury, talks about inability to make a decision too. Now, that's another odd thing, right? Because are they going to come out and are they going to say, look, that statement we made and that stance we took, this has been the effect, that now are they going to backpedal? Are they going to stick to their guns? Or are they going to just assume that nothing happened, it's just gone like nothing ever happened? But with the Lovers card, it's about choices. It's the ability to make a decision. It's duality. Not wanting to make a decision is also a decision. So I think Disney World and Disneyland are waiting before they make a decision. And what are they waiting? The King of Coins. So whoever the CEO is, waiting. Now, I will tell you, the fact that the King of Coins has popped up, even though Chapek is an Aries and the coins does talk about a earth sign, right? I do believe there's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually quits the company or moves on, or he is forced out of the company. Because after the King of Coins, you have the Dreamer, right? Somebody has to take the fall for this, right? They are going to have to pin it on somebody, but one way or the other, it's all managed behind the scenes. It's all kind of very well planned out and all that stuff. They're going to probably cut him loose and say, hey, we'll give you a severance package, and because we need whatever, and then he might take it and leave. But I do believe there is going to be a change. I wouldn't be surprised if what's his name, Robert Alan Chapek, is actually ousted from his position. And once he leaves, I do believe there's going to be a fresh, would I call it rebranding? In a certain way, it's almost going to be a new journey, like a new chapter for Disney World and Disneyland. So whoever is coming in next, they are going to make some changes, definitely going to make some changes. To a certain extent, I feel this was also almost experimental in a certain way, for them to see and get a feel for the consumer world and see how they react, right? But was it an expensive lesson to be learned? I do believe so. It has affected their sales. But also with the King of Coins, I will say that we cannot blame Robert Alan Chapek for all of this, because he is not independently as an individual responsible for all this, right? Because being the CEO of the company, you have to get approval from your board of directors and this and that and all that stuff before you so much as even sneeze. So having said that, they're sitting there thinking, this move that we made, this decision that we took, financially, has it brought us anything? Has it benefited us? Has it benefited us in any way, shape, or form? Were we able to balance the scales? Were we able to balance the scales even as far as societies, trying to appease society and what's going on within the society? So there's a lot of that's going on. And I think they kind of hoped that with that decision, etc., that they made, that people are going to very quickly accept it. I don't think Disney really expected that much of a kickback, if you will. So then we have Three of Wands, right? Followed by Eight of Swords, Prince of Cups. I do believe for Disney, it is going to take a little bit of an effort, if you will, in terms of trying to figure this one out, either a lot of teamwork, taking action, making decisions in terms of commerce and expansion, really looking into what are the options that we have, where do we go from here, how do we figure this out. It is not going to happen overnight. I'm also going to say that I wouldn't be surprised if the next CEO or whatever, they're going to be quick changes and 3 people might come and go in quick succession. I wouldn't be surprised, okay? I'm just saying. Then we have the 8 of Swords. Now see, the 8 of Swords here is telling me Disney is restricted, is feeling like it has been painted into a corner, and Disney does as a company understand that there was a little bit of a collateral damage that was going to happen, and they're very cognizant of that, okay? But having said that, they do have this Prince of Cups pop up, and the Prince of Cups here is telling me that they're going to try to come up with some sort of a program or a statement or a release or something like that, that is almost like an offer of attempt to appease that one faction of society that was not easily accepting of Disney's changes that they made. So they're going to try to come out with something to be able to appease that faction of society, because a lot of Disney employees, have left, have quit, are very disappointed, etc., yada yada. So without their employees, without their cast, Disney World and Disneyland really cannot function. So they're going to try to do something to backpedal and try to kind of appease them and say, hey, look, but with this Prince of Cups, it's almost like whatever they're trying to show them or buy them in terms of trying to make amends, I am not going to so quickly accept it, because I feel like it's a look there and do this here type of thing. It's almost like they're going to try to distract them by offering something, but really it's almost like an illusion, right? That offer is not solid. And then we have alchemy. Now, what is alchemy, right? Now, alchemy is temperance, okay? And temperance is Sagittarius, of course, ruled by Jupiter again, but it's a Sagittarius card. And this is an attempt to find some sort of a moderation, right? Now keep in mind, the Walt Disney Company registered on March 21st Aries, Walter Elias Disney Sagittarius, and Robert Allen Chapek Leo, all fire signs. And then you have the Temperance card pop up. So there has to be a lot of effort put into finding a happy balance and trying to recover, recoup, and find a middle ground such that Disney can make a statement and yet not make a statement. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're going to. And then you have the Ace of Swords. So they're going to realize pretty soon that they have to take a stance. I feel like at the moment they might be kind of still in the stages of talking, how do we overcome this? It has affected them. How do we as a company, how do we overcome this? They're trying to find a happy balance, happy medium, but then they're going to realize, look, at the end of the day, we have to have the clarity and we have to make a decision. We cannot keep hemming and hawing and going on like this. So they will have to make a decision, right? And that new decision with the Ace of Swords is they have to eliminate, with that clarity, they have to eliminate that which does not help them and come up with new ideas and implement them, knowing very well that, yeah, this means we are taking a stance, right? It's like, here we go, I'm saying this and this is a type of thing. So the clarity, they have to make a decision. They can't be sitting on the fence all along, right? And then we have the Princess of Swords, and then we have the Nine of Wands, and then we have the Magnus. This is very interesting. So the Princess of Swords says, the approach that Ace of Swords is, it's almost like, making that decision, taking a stand, doesn't necessarily have to be destructive for Disney. The Princess of Swords is an energy that says, I can use that sword to cut people down, if you will, or to cut out all that negative stuff, or I can use the sword to also cut through the bramble and find a path, right? So they will do that. They will be able to find a path that is going to benefit the company as a whole, a new path, a new remember with the Fool card I said this, it's almost like a little bit of a rebranding. They are going to be able to find it. And then you have the Nine of Wands. With the Nine of Wands, I feel like it's almost like they're going back full circle, and they're going to go back to what really worked way back when for the company, right? And the Nine of Wands does talk about like maintaining your boundaries and going back and maintaining your boundaries and staying within the realm, or the staying within what the company originally stood for. Like, it's almost like they're going back to that, and they're going to maintain that. And then you have the Magnus. The Magnus, of course, is the magician, right? Now, the magician is Mercury again. It's communication. So here we go. So with that, a magician talks about, Mercury, it's communication, and the magician also talks about having a lot of powerful energy, having the ability to create new ideas, having the ability to manage all these energies and chart a new course, to direct these energies, to direct a new path for this company. So they will be able to do that. At the end of the day, they are going to struggle for a little bit, but I do believe after those quick changes as CEOs or whatever, they're going to have a quick succession of changes. After that, I do believe that they will go back to the roots, go back to what Disney was all about way back when. They're going to have to do it, and they will. And then you have Challenge, which is a Chariot card. Now remember, this is Cancer. For Disney, the fourth house is Cancer. Walt Disney Company, the fourth house is Cancer. So when we talk about the Chariot, what is the Chariot, right? The Chariot is success, protection, emotions. It's maintaining focus, maintaining balance, paying attention to detail. It's being able to manage all the energies, manage all that you have, and to charter your course and make sure that you stay on the narrow, and also on the straight narrow, and also you don't go off kilter, don't lose your balance, don't kind of, So I think this is a lesson for them. They are also going to realize, look, as a company, I think we should stick to what we know best and go back to what we originally stand for, or that's what the company was based on or meant on, rather than get diverted with all this new stuff that's happening in the world, in society today, and try to appease everybody. So they're going to go back. They will have a little bit of challenge and pushback also, because people will be like, oh, now Disney is backpedaling really fast. But I think Disney will be able to pull through. They're just so big. And then you have the Seven of Coins. They will be able to pull through. They will continue to work, and they will be successful in this so-called process of rebranding, if you will, or repitching or recreating a new image for the company. They will put in a lot of effort, and the success will be there, but a little delayed. Finally, public will be able to accept it, but it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm not surprised. These two cards. Then we have introspection, and then we have Three of Cards. So introspection is 9. It's a Hermit card. It talks about looking inwards and trying to find a way to a lot of introspection, evaluations, shoulda, coulda, woulda, hindsight, think about things, and learn from this process, heal from this experience, and also have the wisdom that moving forward, based on all these experiences that we've had in the recent past, because of whatever, we've learned our lesson, and we are moving forward with that knowledge that now we know what we can and cannot do, what our limits are, where we went wrong, and how not to make the same mistake. A lot of wisdom coming out of this whole experience. And what is Three of Coins? Three of Coins talks about teamwork, collaboration, craftsmanship, quality, having that financial success. People always wanting to go and have fun and give their coin to Disney. Look, Disney is going to be just fine. Little bit of a process now, but I do even see any company, the CEO really can't just run off and make wild decisions on his own. So I wouldn't say Robert Allen Chapek is individually responsible for all the brouhaha that went on, although it's very easy for us to blame the CEO, right? because he's the face of the company. But he could not have done it of his own violation. He would have had to have a lot of meetings. They would have, anyhow. But they're going to have to pin it on somebody, or maybe it's time for him to leave too. So he'll be like, you know what, maybe I'll take this opportunity, cut my ties, cut my losses, and move on. Of course, there's always a big pay package, etc. But I do believe they're going to have a quick succession of people come in and go. I think at least a minimum of 3 before they are able to settle down and they are able to kind of do all the changes and implement all those changes. When did this whole brouhaha happen with Disney? I think it was in just the recent, not a year ago, maybe about 6 to 8 months ago. So I do believe it will be at least another, I think within the next 3 years they'll be able to jump back. I do believe so. So I'm going to leave it at that, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you all. Please leave your comments below. And again, like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. These are just my observations and my opinions. Please do your own research, do your own due diligence, and form your own conclusions. I also want it known that I have absolutely nothing against the LGBTQ community at all. This reading was purely the brouhaha that happened because of the stance that Disney took. So, just that. So anyway, thank you so very much. Blessed be, and see you in the next I think Wicked Wednesday. All right, everybody, bye for now.